Keep watching for this week's competition. We've got a fantastic prize to give away, a powerful Pentium PC. And our main review is Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. Will it live up to the hype?
And now be discovering new ways to explore other planets.
We love pinball on Bad Influence. If there's ever a break in rehearsals, ooh, this is where you'll find me. Mind you, not everybody can afford an arcade table like this one. This is the Flintstones, and it costs nearly £3,000. Pinball tables weren't always this big or this expensive. They're ready to take over? Go! This was what the original pinball tables used to look like. They're called bagatelles. Why do we call the game pinball? Well, look, the table is peppered with pins, and you score points by bagging the ball in the pockets. Or not.
Computer pinball games are notoriously difficult to program because the movement of the ball around the table is so unpredictable. We've managed to track down one of the first, Pinball Wizard on the Spectrum. And this computer is so old that we can't even get sound off it. And the game, it has to be said, is rather slow. But the first one to really get it right was Revenge of the Gator on the Game Boy. When it came out 4 years ago, it impressed everyone with its secret rooms and cartoon characters that popped up on the tables.
One of the most popular console pinball games is also my favourite. This is Dragon's Fury on the Mega Drive. It was originally released in Japan 3 years ago on the PC Engine, and then it was called Jackie Crush, and it's still wowing players today, especially Jamie, who's doing really well. And some classic pinball games are being released on other formats. This is Pinball Dreams, soon to be seen on the PC CD-ROM. It has the 4 tables from the original Amiga version, plus 4 brand new ones, and a history of pinball crammed onto a single silver disc.
And pinball games are going from strength to strength. This is a brand new one, Psycho Pinball on the Mega Drive. It's got 4 themed tables, including a huge Psycho one, which is made up of sub-games and small video games.
But for real simulation fans, Pinball Illusions on the A1200 has to be the most realistic pinball game ever. It's got 3 play fields, loads of extra features, and a unique switch that lets you see the whole table at the same time. You have to have a ball in play at the time, so hang on a second. There you go. There's even a multi-ball reward that kicks into high resolution so that you can see where all the balls are at the same time. But are these pinball games a substitute for the real thing? No! Oh! Violet, but it's my go now. It is. You said it was my go. Come on then, we'll just be quick.
Oh, yes. Oh, very good. Thirtlers. Only 32 shopping days to Christmas, but I'm not panicking because I've already ordered exciting presents for my many friends from this great catalogue. I'm expecting a delivery any second. Oh, well, while I'm waiting, here's a great cheat for rock and roll racing on the SNES that lets you play with a brand new secret character. On the Select Hero screen, hold down L, R and Select, then scroll through the characters in the normal way until you come to the brand new one, Olaf the Viking. Hey, having a break from the Lost Vikings game. Oh, great, my inventory stuff's arrived. Whoa! I'm so excited. Whoa, let's have a look. Hey. Oh, brilliant! My polystyrene bits. Yes, this one's for Andy, and this one's for Violet. No. This one's for Andy, and this one's for Violet. Yes.
Well, he's spent more on me than I intend to spend on him. Our main review this week is the one you've been waiting for, Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. It's the first console game to be developed on a supercomputer, and it shows. But does it have the personality to back up its stunning good looks? Here's Chris to tell us.
The incredible 3D quality of the main sprites puts all other game characters to shame. This is a game you won't want to put down. If you're playing as Donkey Kong, you'll find at the beginning of each level a barrel with Diddy Kong in it, and you can get them like this. If you've got both Kongs on the screen at once, you control one, and the other just follows. Now, both Kongs have different abilities. For example, Diddy Kong can run faster and jump higher than Donkey Kong, and you can swap between them like I'm doing now. The sound effects and music in this game are excellent. You won't really want to turn it off. A very common feature in this game are these barrels. It's quite difficult, and you have to be very precise with your timing. There's a 2-player option in the game. You can take it in turns to control a Kong each. It's a really good way for a younger player to learn, playing with a more experienced player. I played it with my little brother, and it worked really well. On each level, you can find friends which you can hitch rides on. This is Winky the Frog. They're very easy to control. In fact, in general, the control system is very natural, and you'll get the hang of it very quickly. It's fun to play and gorgeous to look at. What more could you want from a platform game?
I thought I'd be disappointed by this because there was so much hype surrounding the game, but I love it.
This is a work of art. The gameplay is just your basic platform stuff, but it looks so good you just want to keep playing.
And the scores, Donkey Kong Country gets a Kong-sized 5 out of 5 from the boys and the girls. A well-deserved maximum score for Donkey Kong Country. The SNES was launched in the UK 2.5 years ago, but it's only now that games programmers are really using the machine's unique capabilities to the full. Now for a live report from Z Wright, who, as I speak, is 384,000 kilometres away on the surface of the moon.
It was just over 25 years ago that a man first stepped on the surface of the moon. Since that historic moment, only 11 other people have set foot on lunar dust. Why? Because it takes years to train an astronaut, and it costs billions of dollars to launch the manned spacecraft.
A safer and cheaper way to explore the moon and other planets is with remote-control rovers. These striking pictures of the Martian surface were sent back by the Viking 1 and 2 missions in the mid-70s.
But it's still not like really being there. You can only see what's directly in front of the camera, and even pictures from the moon, which is our closest neighbor, take about 5 seconds to arrive back at Earth.
For the operator, it's almost as difficult as driving a car wearing a blindfold. He has to ease forward very carefully and very slowly to avoid crashing into a crater or anything else. So down on Earth at NASA's Ames Research Center just outside San Francisco, researchers have been trying to combine the old remote control technology with the latest virtual reality ideas. They've called their new concept telepresence, and they've already tested it in some of the most difficult conditions they can find on this planet. This robotic submarine is exploring the bottom of an ice-covered Antarctic lake.
Basically what telepresence is it's an ability to project your senses into the robot. What I accomplished by doing that is having the cameras on the vehicle controlled by my head. I'm looking right, I'm looking left, and I'm seeing what's coming up through those cameras displayed directly into the viewfinders in this helmet.
The latest test of the technology was the Dante project. Last July, a walking robot went down an active volcano in Alaska to explore the crater floor. As well as the telepresence cameras, the Dante robot had 6 other video cameras to provide the operators with all-round vision. There were 2 control rooms, one at the crater rim, one back at Ames, and of course, no time delay. But one of the goals of the project is to use telepresence to explore Mars, which is so far away that the images can take up to 40 minutes to travel back to Earth.
We compensate for time delay to some extent by using virtual reality techniques. We've got a model here of Dante. This is the 8-legged walking robot here in the terrain that it has sensed with its onboard sensors. Wherever the robot steps, it leaves a pad so we can see where it's walked. And then this brown terrain that you see around the robot is the physical terrain that it's in right now. I can use this computer-generated graphics to fly around in the scene and look at the robot as if I were there at the site, but it's independent of the time distance, the time delay between us and the robot.
Meanwhile, back on the moon,
The 12 people who visited the moon during the Apollo missions were all highly trained, very fit astronauts. They spent years preparing for it, and they braved great dangers to get there and back. Telepresence technology will open up the solar system to a whole range of people, scientists, explorers, and even tourists. There are already plans to put a buggy on the moon in 2 years and operated by Telepresence as a theme park attraction. Until then, this is the nearest I'm likely to get.
Just for a minute there, I really thought Z was on the surface of the moon. You can find out all you ever wanted to know about robots on a new CD-ROM that's just hit the shops called Isaac Asimov's The Ultimate Robot. Isaac Asimov was a famous science fiction author who wrote loads of stories about robots.
When I was 19, I started writing stories.
If you want to look at some of the robots that have been constructed for the movies, there's a section where you can look at clips from science fiction movies. Here we are, robots in the cinema. What should we take? Empire Strikes Back? Why not?
Don't say things like that. Of course we'll see Master Luke again.
I'm sure you will, but not today. There's also an interactive section called the Robotoid Assembly Toolkit, where you can build your own robot. Reminds me of the Ministry of Funny Walks.
A robot may not injure a human being.
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to leave my android friend there reciting the 3 laws of robotics, because now it's time for this week's News and Preview.
Robots are everywhere. The long-awaited Rise of the Robots comes out on computer format tomorrow. The game has artificial intelligence, so when you play against the computer, the opponent robots learn your favourite moves. They can then adapt their tactics to make things more difficult for you. Console versions will be out next month.
Those nice people who brought you FIFA Soccer have a new sports sim in production, Rugby World Cup 1995. Rugby is a hard game to convert into a playable simulation because of all the stopping and starting. Out on the Mega Drive next month.
The cult novels of American writer and illustrator Mark Schultz have been turned into a CD game. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs takes you to a world 600 years from now, when the human race is in danger of being wiped out by prehistoric creatures. Out early next year on Mega CD and PC CD-ROM.
Brilliant! The amazingly accurate, technologically advanced alarm clocks. Oh, Furtlers, these alarm clocks are brilliant! There's one which is accurate to a millionth of a second every 800 years. There's one which projects the time. Look at that! Hey! And there's even one which you throw at the floor when the alarm goes off to stop it. Ah, brilliant! And equally brilliant is this cheat for Fatal Fury on the Mega Drive. On the continue screen, just hold down up A, B and C, then let them all go and repeat the process, and each time you do, you'll get an extra credit. There we go, 9. Oh, must have accidentally set the alarm. Oh no, the wrong one. Oh dear. Ooh, I know. I'll give it to Violet and tell her it's a build-it-yourself alarm clock kit.
Thing is, she'll believe him as well. Meet Doc. Doc is a very stupid robot. Stupid because he's been programmed to do one thing and one thing only. That is to play follow my leader, a bit like a duckling, as have all these guys down here. So if they want to dutifully follow Mother Duck, who in this case is the unlikely figure of Colin on camera 4, if he pulls away, they will follow him. Go on, Doc, keep up, keep up. They see and hear a bit like a bat does. They send out high-pitched ultrasonic signals and then listen for the echoes coming back. And don't they look sweet?
And this one's just as cute and just as stupid. It behaves like a puppy, which means it'll follow you anywhere, just like Andy's duckling, but when you turn it, it gets scared and backs off.
The reason these robots are stupid is because they're only programmed to do one thing, to either follow or avoid. And they have no knowledge of their environment, nor can they learn from their experience because they haven't got any memory either.
Get out of here. They call this one the cat. It's got more sensors and 3 rules of behaving. Rule 1 is to avoid obstacles. As you can see, it's backing away from the shoes there. Rule 2 is to avoid enemies, represented there by an infrared beacon being held by Abby. Rule number 3 is to stalk prey. The prey is being represented by another infrared beacon, and there he is following his nose, going after the prey. Another clever thing is that it can recharge itself when it gets tired, and we recorded it earlier today doing just that. It can find its own electricity supply and dock with it. When its batteries are fully recharged, off it goes back on the prowl.
This is Bashful. Bashful is the only one that isn't stupid because Bashful can learn from his experiences. When you switch him on, he knows literally nothing at all. What he wants to do is go forward without running into things, but he doesn't know how to do it. So at the moment, he's just doing random motor movements to see what that makes him do. And he's thinking about what signals the sensors are sending back to him. If he runs into something, he'll recognize the next time the sensors send that same signal to avoid it. When he's given time and space to learn like he is doing now, he learns quite quickly how to go forward. But if we're cruel to Bashful, let me switch him off so he forgets everything he's learned. And guys, all come in a big tight circle, get your feet out, and we put Bashful down and switch him on again. If he learns in this hostile environment, you see he behaves really spasmodically and erratically because he can't learn because there's no space for him. Now, if we all step back together, now, you see, he's still behaving in that erratic manner. He still hasn't yet learnt how to go forward. This is because, really, he needs the wide open spaces. He needs sort of freedom to learn and develop and sort of evolve as a robot.
These robots are among the most intelligent ever made. They've been designed at Reading University to test out ideas that will lead to the R2-D2 and C-3PO of the future.
Without a stabilizer.
Yeah,
he should be told he can come in for his tea before 6:30.
And now for some more games reviews. Magic Carpet is the first PC game we've ever reviewed on Bad Influence. The game is a flight sim, arcade shoot-'em-up and strategy game all rolled into one. You're one of 8 wizards vying to take control of a world filled with strange mythical beasts. Your challenge is to collect special energy called mana, and your weapons are powerful magic spells. And, unlike most flight sims, however hard you try, you can never crash the carpet. Here's Adam.
We just don't have time in a review this short to do justice to a game that's this big, but believe me, it is really good. The minimum you need to run this game is a 486 PC with 4 megabytes of memory, but to really get the best out of it, you need a beast PC. When you first start the game, you don't have any spells, which is a bad thing if you're a wizard, so you've got to collect them from red urns which are scattered about the landscape. When you pick one up, the icon on the top right tells you what you've got. This one lets you build your castle. You might think that Paul Daniels has got some magic spells. He hasn't. With a bit of power on this game, you can have meteor storms, a bit more, you can create your very own earthquakes, and you can have your very own army of skeletons for when the killing gets too much for even a wizard of your stature to handle. This is a really good game, very original, but to play it properly you need a lot of time and a lot of money.
This is simply stunning. It's quite a hard game to get into though, because the story is rather complicated.
This is the first flight sim I've ever been bothered to play. It's a really nice looking game with some brilliant ideas.
The boys and the girls agree. Magic Carpet gets a great game if you can afford it. 5 out of 5.
Vortex is the latest game to use the SNES Super FX chip. The worlds are all in 3D, so you can move in any direction. Also, you can transform your fighting craft into different battle systems. Here's Aisha.
When you first play this game, it takes ages to figure out where you're supposed to be on screen, and then when you do, it's really difficult to control. This is the first level of the game, where you have to fly through space and shoot things that are targeted. It's pretty hard to play this game. It's particularly hard to control, and I didn't find it very playable either. I'm not impressed. It's not a patch on Starwing. I'm not even excited by the graphics as I've seen them all before.
I quite like this. It's a simple but effective 3D shoot-'em-up with no pretensions.
I don't like this chunky polygon look, and I'm not too crazy about the gameplay either. It's just an average shoot-'em-up.
Scores then. Vortex gets an ordinary 3 from the boys and the girls.
Oh, brilliant! The relaxing and easy to wear massage shorts. Hey, Furtlers, you too can now enjoy the pleasures of a relaxing massage with these rugged yet inconspicuous massage shorts. I'm also wearing the matching massage belt, neck exerciser and head vibrator. I can't wait to try them out. But first, today's last cheat for Micro Machines on the Game Gear. Race backwards on the first lap on the breakfast table course. And then after one lap, you'll hear a tone that confirms the cheats worked. You'll now end up in first position after every race, regardless of where you actually finish. And now, time for my relaxing and enervating, but discreet and inconspicuous massage. Massage shorts. Whoa. Massage belt. Whoa. Neck exerciser. Whoa. Head vibrator. Whoa. Way. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
That's what I call good vibrations. Last week's competition prize was a SNES and a copy of Street Racer. We asked you which Formula 1 Grand Prix is raced around the streets of a European city rather than a racetrack. And the answer, as 17,000 of you phoned in, is the Monaco Grand Prix, which is held every year in Monte Carlo. And the winner, as randomly selected by the Bad Influence computer, is Craig Richards from Derbyshire. Well done. 10 runners-up get Bad Influence Best Than Sleep t-shirts.
This week's prize is this state-of-the-art, astronomically fast Pentium PC with Magic Carpet. I kid you not. And the competition question is, not including Z, how many people have walked on the moon? If you think you know, you can give us a call with your answer on 0891 555 999, 0891 555 999. Call will cost you no more than 25p. Lines stay open until midnight on Monday, but do please